Hi, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com, and I'm going to adjust the lighting just a little bit. Hopefully it's better. It's dark out where I am, and I haven't done a video in a while, and didn't want you guys to think I forgot about you. So anyway, I decided to do a video on the planets and their meanings, and I took a lot of notes to make sure I didn't forget anything, and I used the syllabus that I use for my classes. So in a way, you guys are getting part of my class for free. So anyway, here we go. The sun in astrology, wherever you have the sun in your chart, that is where the part of your life that the spotlight's gonna be on you. It's gonna be illuminated, okay? Now, if the sun is in the 12th house, 12th house is a little bit different. That means that things are a little bit behind the scenes, you know, the spotlight is kind of hidden, okay? But for the most part, the sun is illumination. It's light source, authority. It stands for your character as a person. Okay, and the position is where you're drawing the source from, okay? So I want to say the sun also represents the father figure. It represents your husband, if you're the person that you're going to marry. It represents, now, I took notes because I don't always remember. I don't do medical astrology, so I don't remember all this all the time. So I'm going to give you parts of the body, and I'm going to have to keep looking at my notes, okay? So the sun represents the right eye for the male, the left eye for the female. It's also your father energy. It stands for willpower, vitality, individuality, and it rules the heart, spinal cord, and the thalamus. Okay, so that is the sun. But for the most part, when I see a sun in a chart, you know, I look to see the house that it's in and the sign that it's in, because that's the person's soul. And people who know that person really well, that's the sign that is what they'll see after they get to know them, you know. And where the sun is, you know, it's so funny. People think I'm a Scorpio. I get you guys a lot of time. They're like, "Are you a Scorpio?" No, I have my sun conjunct Venus in the 8th house. So even though my sun is in Aries, I do have Scorpion energy because my sun is conjunct Venus in that 8th house, and that's rather powerful, okay? And it's an exact conjunction. It's actually Cazimi, but we'll get into that later, what Cazimi is. Maybe I'll do an aspects video or something. But so anyhow, that's what the sun is. Now let's go to the moon. This may be a rather long video. The moon is your subconscious. It shows how you are when you're emotional, when you're upset, how you react is your moon. If you're needy, if you don't like to express your emotions, you know, if you're withdrawn, if, you know, all that is seen with the moon. Now, I'm looking at my notes to see that, you know, I don't do medical astrology, so we're going to get into what it rules in your body. It also rules the mother figure. And the moon also shows you information on your future wife if you're a male, okay? It rules the stomach, the breasts, the pancreas, the right eye for the female, and the left eye for the male. And it also rules psychic energy, okay? I should also reiterate that the moon is most at home in the sign of Cancer, okay? And the sun, I'm going to go back a little bit, is most at home when it's in the sign of Leo. That's the sign that rules the sun. And the moon, the sign that rules the moon would be Cancer, okay? Now we're going to go to Mercury. Mercury is ruled by 2 signs. It's Virgo and Gemini. Mercury rules communication, how you communicate, how you think, transportation, short distance travel, commerce, teaching and learning, okay, talking intelligence, and it also rules your vehicles and your siblings, okay? Now I'm going to go to the medical part. It rules the arms, the hands, the nerves, the lungs, and the shoulders. So if you're into medical astrology, I just thought that I'd add that. I don't do medical astrology, so that's why I have to look at my notes. And also, I don't want to make sure I forgot anything. The Venus. Now, Venus is ruled by two signs, are the signs that Venus rules, and that would be Taurus and Libra. Okay? Venus rules where you have it in your chart: love, relatedness, balance, harmony, beauty, art, creation, sensitivity, bonding, energy, and it shows the in a man's chart, it shows the type of woman he's attracted to. So you want to look for a man's Venus. It's going to show you the type of man that he would be drawn to. Let me see, parts of the body. Venus rules the kidneys, urinary tract, the veins, the blood, the throat, and the larynx. Okay, now we're going to go to Mars. Mars is ruled is Aries. Is ruled with the sign of Aries as its ruler, and also Scorpio. Scorpio is its co-ruler. Okay, so Mars is your energy, in your vitality, and in a man's chart, it can show his libido. It's heat, action, aggression, passion, war, conflict, independence, and relationships. In a woman's chart, it shows the type of man she would be attracted to. Okay. And in a medical astrology, it rules the muscles, the male genitalia, red corpuscles, the nose, and the excretory tract. Okay? Now we're going to Jupiter. Jupiter rules the sign of Sagittarius. Okay? So that's where it's mostly at home in Sag. So it's basically wherever Jupiter is, it's expansion. It's where you're going to have, Jupiter is the planet of gifts and luck. So it'll be where you're going to expand, where you're lucky, where your good fortune will be. But it also rules, Jupiter has a lot to do with philosophy, travel, optimism, higher education, most positive planet in the zodiac, okay? And it's also the largest planet, okay? For medical astrology, it rules the thighs, the liver, the hips, the pituitary gland, and the cell nutrition. Okay? Now let's go to Saturn. And Saturn is ruled, it's actually a co-ruler of Aquarius, but it's most at home in Capricorn. Okay? So Saturn rules, wherever you have Saturn in your chart, that's where you're going to find I want to say, look at the aspects to Saturn, the squares and the oppositions and things, because Saturn is the teacher planet. It's telling you, watch out for these things in your chart. Be careful of this or this, And it's where you may have some challenges in your life because Saturn is trying to teach you. So it's known as the teacher planet. Discipline, structure, limitation. It can be cold or can be lacking in that house. I want to say, if you have Saturn in any house, like the 7th house of relationships, you may get married at an older age, like after 35. If you have Saturn in the 5th house, you may have children at a later age, like 35. If the cusp of your 5th house, just to throw this in there, is Capricorn, you may have children later in life or none at all. So I have the 5th house Capricorn cusp. And I don't have kids, and I'm 39. So it is what it is, So don't don't send me bad messages or anything. Now, I will say this. I find in women's chart that if they do have Capricorn on the 5th house cusp, but the guy they get with has Jupiter that falls into their 5th house, it sort of nullifies that Capricorn. Very interesting. I believe, George Bush's, I believe his wife, I think it was his mother. His mother had this, and she ended up having kids because his father's Jupiter fell into her 5th house. Quite interesting. Anyway, so I thought I'd throw that in there. All right, so Saturn rules, it's also your karma, okay? So sometimes if things were to happen in your life, it's meant to, because Saturn is a teacher planet. It's very karmic, and it sometimes shows information about your father, okay? So in medical astrology, it rules the skin, the bones, the teeth, the knees, and the ears, okay? Now we're going to get into the outer planets, okay? Uranus, which is, Uranus is home in Aquarius, okay? That's its planet, the sign that it's ruling. Wherever Uranus is in your chart is where you're going to have a lot of, you may have ups and downs, and you may have like a revolution in that house it's in. You may notice, like I notice people who have Uranus on the fourth house cusp or on the IC, you know, they have moved, maybe they moved a lot as a kid, or things were very up and down in their home, you know, or mother, you know, if it's the fourth house, you have Uranus, it could be the mom, things were up and down with the mother. But anyhow, wherever that is, you're really trying to break free, and it's where you want independence, okay? So Uranus rules revolution, change, eccentricity, the universal, electricity, science, technology, magic, genius. A lot of people who have Uranus in the first house are very highly intellectual people, very smart. Also, I want to say this on a medical thing. There's a study that a lot of people who have Uranus in the first house, a lot of epileptics have that. So anyway, rebels, yeah, rebellious people too, big time. So ladies, if you have your Mars in Aquarius, you probably like the rebel type of guy. Anyway, it rules groups and friends. And for the body, medical astrology, it would rule electrical impulses, which is why, you know, if it's in certain parts of your chart, it can rule epilepsy, and usually that's in the first house. Okay, and that doesn't mean don't get freaked out if you have Uranus in the first house. I know tons of people who have it, who are highly intellectual people and who do not have epilepsy. So don't think, oh my God, I'm going to be epileptic. That's not true, okay? Anyhow, all right, going to the next one. Neptune is the home sign for Neptune is Pisces, okay? And the Pisces rules anywhere you have Neptune. It's a very dreamy sign. I always say in astrology, there's octaves to planets and there's octaves to signs, you know, like a positive and a negative, you know. So the positive sign of Neptune would be creativity. It would be very maybe psychic. It would be very intuitive, spiritual. The negative side of Pisces would be, you know, I really don't like Earth that much, so I want to tune out of life, and I like to do maybe Neptune negative aspects of that planet would be drugs, alcohol, tuning out of life. And I will say, though, just because you have Neptune, it doesn't mean it's always going to be taken to the negative degree. You could take it to the most positive degree or both. Like, look at Whitney Houston. Neptune has some of the greatest musicians, you know, if you have a lot of strong Neptune in your chart. And sometimes some of those greatest musicians were drug addicts, you know. So you can have both, but we like to try to aim for the positive side of a sign, right? So, okay, so that's Neptune. And for medical astrology, it rules, well, like they say here, drugs, alcohol at the lower octave. It rules the pineal gland, the thalamus, the spinal cord, and which is this? The nervous process, okay? Okay, and Pluto is ruled by Scorpio, okay? And Pluto is, wherever you have Pluto, you're going to have some sort of transformation, because Pluto rules death, transformation, rebirth, and it also rules like what's hidden, what's secretive, what's not being said, you know? So, let's see. It rules metaphysics too, because Pluto is, I will say, it's kind of like what people don't really want to go to, like psychic, metaphysics. Some people are like, I'm Christian and I don't think that's good and it's bad luck or whatever, you know. I don't know, you know, I was raised Catholic, and I think that astrology is a tool that I don't think it's anti-God or anything like this. I personally believe that astrology helps us understand our chart so we can live it out the proper way, I'd say, you know. Sometimes, you know, like, I want to say you're always going to live out your chart, but it's always better to kind of know it. I think to know what's happening so you kind of know your path, especially if you're confused about your path, you know. So I think that they've been using astrology since Jesus, you know, the three wise men, you know. So anyway, anyhow, so that would be considered part of Pluto. It's like the hidden, you know, the like people are afraid to go there kind of thing, you know. It's the Phoenix is very Plutonian. And what is this one? Okay. There's 3 levels of Pluto: the Scorpion, the Eagle, and the Dove. And like I say, in everything, there's a positive energy and a negative energy. So it depends on where you go with it. It rules the reproductive organs. And I will say, because we are, you know, Scorpio is the planet of karma. We know that. And Scorpio just moved in October. It moved Saturn moved into Scorpio in October. So what you know, anytime Saturn moves into a sign, you really want to get those things checked that rule that sign. So like maybe the last 2 years, more people had back problems because Libra kind of has back and kidney issues, you know. So, you know, you may have heard more people saying, oh, I got backaches, or, you know, I got a kidney infection or a bladder infection or whatever. People may have had those more than often. But I want to say, I personally feel there may be a rise in STDs in the next couple years because Saturn is going into Scorpio. So I would personally, I think everybody get your stuff checked. You know, just make sure you're healthy and you're okay and there's no problems in that area. Maybe, you know, get, you know, the funny thing, I had a relative who ended up with, you know, right around the same time, ended up with testicular cancer, you know, and he caught it in time. But, you know, I just will say, you know, ladies, get your OB exams done, and guys, get your stuff checked. But, you know, I just think there's going to be a rise with maybe reproductive issues or STDs, or maybe, unfortunately, you know, ovarian cancer or so forth, or the male, you know, cancer in that area. I hope not, but I feel usually when Saturn goes into a sign, you're going to notice a lot more diseases or issues with that part of the body, you know. And since Pluto is the reproductive organs, you know, that's the same thing for Scorpio. So since Saturn is in Scorpio, anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I just wanted to give you that information, okay? All right, so Chiron. Let's talk about Chiron. Chiron in your chart is the wounded healer. It doesn't really have a planet or a sign that, you know, or it's not really a planet. It's an asteroid, but it doesn't really have a sign that it goes with. I sort of feel it's Virgo because even though Virgo is ruled by Mercury, you know, Chiron's the wounded healer, and Virgo's a sign that really rules health. And I know some astrologers agree with this and some do not, you know. So it depends on you, and, you know, study astrology and see what you feel and your belief. But I really think Chiron really goes with Virgo because, like I say, Virgo's is all about health and helping others, and Chiron is really the sign of where you take the wounds, wounds that you have in your life, and you use them to help others. That's why it's called the wounded healer. So wherever you have Chiron in your chart, that's where, you know, figure out what house it's in and what sign it's in, and that's, you're going to use hurts and, you know, from that area of your life to help other people in that area. Okay, the North Node is where a person is going in their life. So wherever you have your North Node, that's where you're meant to go in your life and carry out your mission, okay? And your South Node is where you were in your past life. So your South Node shows where have you been in a past life and where you're going in this life, you know? So those are some of the meanings. Anyway, I hope this helps out a little bit. I want to say, if you notice, some of the outer planets have, you know, co-rulers, you know. So, you know, I want to say, like, for Jupiter, okay? Jupiter's ruler is really Neptune, but a lot of times we look, or shall I say Pisces. Pisces ruler is Neptune, but we look at the co-ruler of Jupiter for Pisces a lot too, okay? And the same thing goes for Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, but we look at Saturn a lot. That has a co-ruler for Aquarius, okay? And then Pluto, Scorpio, we look at Pluto. Scorpio's the ruler, Pluto's the ruler of Scorpio. But we also look at Mars. You know, we always want to, when we're doing a chart, we look at more of the inner planets that rule that sign. It gives us more information. And you can look at the outer planet too, but a lot of astrologers look at the inner planet more so. So they'll look at the co-ruler most likely if the ruler is an outer planet. If that makes any sense. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful for you. I'm sorry it took me so long to do a video. And I'm kind of doing this on a weird table here, but I was so busy and it's been nuts. I'm planning on doing I did the houses before. I did the planets today. I'm going to do the signs and their meetings next. So look for that video. It's going to be really helpful, especially if you're learning astrology. If you need help and you want some more answers, go to my website, which is LIVEVISIONZ.com, and that's LIVEVIS like Sam, IONZ like zebra.com. And go to the website. There's so much information, especially if you're students. I gear my site toward my students so they can look up anything and everything on there. Also, I want to say that I have classes. I have a basic class. I'm not doing any classes in December because we have the holiday, and I'm going to probably resume classes after the new year. So if you guys wanted to do classes, January is a good time, especially maybe waiting for the money like text time, I don't know, to take a class. I'm going to be doing basics and aspects again. I'm also going to be adding a transits class. So that'll be coming up. If you wanted to take, if you're more advanced and you wish to take transits, I'm going to have that. But that'll be posted on the website. I also want to say in January, God willing, I'm buying some software for my website to offer you more automated reports, longer reports. I plan on having a synastry report so you can see how well you and your partner get along, a natal report, and I think I'm going to order the solar return. But I have to get it all implemented to my website and download, you know, all this stuff, and it's quite expensive. So that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. And it, you know, if you buy the report, it may be anywhere between $30 to $50. It depends on how long the report is. I have to check everything out before I give you guys a price. But that's going to be going up, I think, January, God willing, sometime in January. So I will let you know more information on that. But like I said, if you want to do classes, we're resuming classes again in January. I figured, who wants to take a class during the holidays? You know, you got family coming and you got gifts to buy people, and, you know, it's too busy. Plus, I'm tearing apart a room in my house and, you know, redoing it, so it's kind of a busy. Anyway, what else? If you have any question on, you know, the planets, and, you know, again, I don't do medical astrology. That's why I had to look at my notes a lot. And I just wanted to make sure I wasn't forgetting anything. But if you have any question regarding regular astrology, or maybe you needed to recap what was what part of the body for what planet, I can do that for you. Or if you just wanted information, if I wasn't clear on something and you're a little confused, I'd be happy to answer your questions. Just put them below. And as always, if you like my channel, click like, and you will get all the updates in the future. And I also have a Facebook page, LiveVisions.com, and like that too, and you'll get all the updates too. So if you miss it, it's on there, and you don't miss anything. And follow me on Twitter. Fun. Anyway, I hope this helps you out. The next one I'll do is on the signs. I'm kind of going backwards. I should have did the signs and then the planets and then the houses, but oh well, it's all there. I'll do the next one, and then I'll pick a planet, and we will get started. Maybe I'll do Mercury next. I've done a few of the other ones, so maybe Mercury I will do next. We shall see. Anyway, I hope you have a nice Christmas. I hope to do a video before that, though. But I know this month was a little crazy. But if I don't, I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving and a nice Christmas. And I will have, I think, another video before the holiday. Fingers crossed. Okay. Have a nice holiday if I do not hear from you. And I hope you, I hope there's a service on my site that can help you out. Or I'm hoping these videos help you. So I'll talk to you soon, okay? Have a good day. Bye-bye.